Good morning, students. Welcome to the fourth session of Power Converter, that is the Module 5 of Basic Electrical Engineering, paper code ESEE 101. I am Munit Mukhopadhyay, Assistant Professor of Electrical Engineering Department of Asansol Engineering College. In previous session, I discussed the 120-degree and 180-degree conduction mode of three-phase inverter and their application. Okay. Now, in this session, I am going to discuss these topics: good inverter. Second topic, type of inverter according to the output of the waveform. Third, square wave inverter. Fourth, modified sine wave inverter. Fifth, sine wave inverter. Sixth, modulating wave and carrier wave. Seventh, sinusoidal modulation. And eighth, application of the inverter. Okay, so let's start with these topics. First is the good inverters. What are the requirements of a good inverter? Here some requirements of the good inverter are listed below. First, its output voltage should be sinusoidal. Second, its gain, that means AC output voltage to DC input voltage, should be very high. Third, its output voltage and frequency should be controllable in the desired range. For example, inverter must be capable of keeping the V by F constant for some application. Number 4, the power required by its controlling circuit should be minimum. Number 5, the semiconductor devices used in the inverter should have minimum switching and conduction losses. Number 6, its overall cost must be minimum without sacrificing its reliability. Number 7, its working life must be long. Number 8, it should produce minimum electromagnetic interference so that the distortion may become less in the output. Okay. Number 9 and the last one is the size of the filters required in the inverter circuit must be very small. Okay. Now, these type of inverters already I had discussed. Here, in this session, I will discuss the type of inverter according to the output waveform. There are three types: square wave inverter, modified sine wave inverter, and sine wave inverter. Okay, this half bridge inverter, full bridge inverter, 120-degree conduction and 180-degree conduction mode of single phase and three phase inverters respectively are already discussed in previous sessions. Okay, so only these three topics are left, which will be discussed in later slides. Now, according to the output waveform, there are three types of inverters: square wave, modified sine wave, and sine wave inverter. First is the square wave inverter. This is the least used but simplest type of inverter. The output waveform of this inverter is the square wave. As you can see, the output waveform is square wave. This is 0, T by 2 and T. So this is your full time period, one time period, right? And here output voltage is in positive axis positive quadrant, and here the output voltage is in negative value or opposite quadrant, right? This is positive value, negative value. Now it converts the straight DC signal to a phase shifting AC signal. But the output is not pure AC. This is the cheapest type of the inverter. Now if we connect these equipment with a square wave inverter, it makes more losses. The equipment may get damaged in the worst case. This type of inverters used to generate the sine wave inverters by using the filters. Okay. Now, next one is the modified sine wave inverter. This inverter is known as the quasi-wave inverter. This inverter generates the signal near to the sine wave, okay, but it cannot generate a smooth sine wave. Here you can see that these are small steps. If we magnify this one, then you will see that these steps are there, okay, and if you can draw their mean path, then it will be an almost sinusoidal waveform, okay, like this. Right? So that's why it is called modified sine wave inverter. A modified sine wave inverter creates some pauses before the phase shifting. It does not shift the phase directly from positive to negative like a square wave. Right? The construction of this inverter is more complex than the square wave inverter, but simpler than the sine wave inverter. Okay, clear? Now, next one is the sine wave inverter. This is the most efficient but complex type of inverter. It generates the pure sine wave, which is similar waveform of the grid power. All AC equipments are designed to work on the sine wave signal. As we already know that a sine wave can be generated from square wave inverter by modifying the output waveform. Here you can see a sinusoidal output is here. Okay. But this inverter's cost is very high and it has least amount of loss. It causes the least amount of loss. This type of inverters is widely used in residential and commercial applications. Now, especially this carrier-based technique is called SPWM, okay, pulse width modulation. And since sinusoidal wave is generated here, that means it is sinusoidal pulse width modulation. Since the reference signal is a shape of sine wave. Okay, so this is also called a triangle comparison PWM technique, since this uses a carrier of triangular wave. Right? Now, this figure is a sinusoidal PWM technique for one phase only. Next is the modulating wave and the carrier wave. In the carrier-based pulse width modulation technique, the desired voltage reference waveform is referred to as the modulating wave. In addition, a wave which is modulated with the modulating wave is referred to as the carrier wave or a carrier. The carrier wave usually has much higher frequency than the modulating wave. The triangular waveform is the most commonly used carrier in the PWM technique for modulating the voltage. On the other hand, different forms of the modulating wave can be used according to the PWM technique. Typical sinusoidal pulse width modulation technique uses the sinusoidal modulating waveform. Okay, now here you can see one square waveform and the sinusoidal waveform. Okay, and maximum value of that square waveform is VDC, right? And from half VDC to minus half VDC. Similarly, this is for A phase, for B phase. Okay, and this is the sinusoidal waveform. Okay, now here the net amount of voltage in each waveform, if we calculate here, it will be like this. Okay. Now next is the sinusoidal modulation. The sinusoidal pulse width modulation is a typical PWM technique. In this PWM technique, the sinusoidal AC voltage reference, that is Vref, is compared with the high frequency triangular carrier wave Vc in real time to determine the switching states for each pole in the inverter. Here, this sinusoidal waveform is your reference waveform, right? And this triangular waveform is your carrier wave. Okay. Now, according to this, when this waveform is cutting the reference voltage is cutting the carrier wave, at that time, the negative voltage will appear. Okay, that means when the reference voltage V reference is greater than the triangular wave, the upper switch is turned on and pole voltage is VDC by 2, and V reference voltage when less than the triangular voltage, lower switch is turned on and pole voltage is minus VDC by 2. And this concept is shown in graphical configuration here. As you can see, this is your reference voltage, and at this point, the reference voltage is more, so that this lower switch will be turned on. Okay, and this reference voltage is less than the triangular waveform. Here you can see the reference voltage is less than the triangular waveform. That's why minus VDC by 2. But here you can see that it is positive value. That means the reference voltage is greater than the triangular waveform. Here you can see that this is your reference voltage and this one is your triangular waveform. Similarly, for this portion, it is less than the reference voltage. So, upper switch will turn on. That's why it is plus VDC by 2. And likewise, if you go on switching, it will look like this square waveform. Okay, and the fundamental component of the carrier of this reference wave is shown here by the dotted line. Okay, now here the peak to peak value of the triangular carrier wave is given as the DC link voltage VDC. In this PWM technique, the necessary condition for linear modulation is that the amplitude of the voltage reference Vref must remain below the peak of the triangular carrier wave V suffix C. That is, V reference if is less than VDC by 2. Since the PWM technique utilizes a high frequency carrier wave for voltage modulation, this kind of PWM technique is called carrier based PWM technique. Okay, carrier based PWM technique, because each signal is calculated, each signal that we have drawn here is dependent on the carrier wave magnitude. Okay, so that it is called the carrier based PWM technique. Now the last one is the application of the inverter. That means in which cases we can install inverter. Okay, some applications of the inverter include: number one, when the main power is not available, an uninterrupted power supply uses the battery and inverter. Uninterrupted power supply means UPS. In your home, if you have a desktop, then you will see that it is connected with one switching device, that is the UPS. That is called uninterruptible power supply, and this UPS is comprised of this battery and one inverter. Number two, the power inverter used in the HVDC, that is high voltage direct current transmission line. It is also used to connect two asynchronous AC system. Number three, the output of the solar panel is DC power. The solar inverter is used to convert that DC power into AC power, because in our household appliances we cannot use this DC power, so we need one instrument that can convert the DC power into AC, and inverter is that appliance used for converting this DC power into AC power. Okay. Number four, the inverter produces variable output voltage by using a control unit, that is the closed loop inverter. The speed of the inverter controlled by supplying the variable voltage. For example, it used in the refrigerator compressor motor. It is also used in rail transport, also in induction motor speed control, in electric vehicles also. Okay. Number five, it can convert the low frequency AC power to a higher frequency that is used in induction heating. Okay, so these are the various applications of the inverter, and in exam it may come of 5 marks. Okay, either 5 marks or 3 marks. Okay, so that's for today's session, students. So study all the types of waveforms that I had discussed here in earlier topics, that is modified sine wave inverter, square wave inverter, and how their output waveform looks like. Okay, what is carrier wave, how it is related with reference signal, and what is PWM technique. Okay, so study all these things, stay at home, stay safe, and study the fullest. Okay, so thank you. Have a nice day.